Okay, all right. We are live. Welcome back to the channel. I guess one thing that I would have to say right now, see if I can actually kind of maneuver this around a little better. I know my laptop's still charging, but yeah, anyways. What I will do right now here, if I can actually just share this. Oops. Copy link. Here we go. Get this going for a couple seconds. Should have probably done this beforehand. I do have my other questions that I put in on Instagram, which I will answer. Probably just upload that in a second if you guys just want to kind of slowly filter in. Oh my goodness, this is taking forever. Just bogs everything right down. Okay. There you go. Okay. All right. Now that I got that up and running, I am going to try and respond to all these things. Okay. All right. So what do we got? We got one person tuning in. Ooh, cool. All right. So if you can't hear me, that's just let me know. But that is something else there. I know that. Okay. Let's see if I can get that going right now. See, the problem with never having done this. Okay. Yeah. That's the problem with all this. It's getting like hyper crazy. Okay, so I wonder if I can add this just because the terrible angles and everything. It's trying to change. Sorry. Okay. I need to put this up on something else. Give me like 20 seconds here. Okay, here. There we go. That's a bit better. Okay, so now we got, I guess, what we got. One person that tuned in. Okay, if you can't hear me, just let me know. I'm just outside on my patio. There's a couple stuff going on. I do have a bunch of headphones. I had to record this on the laptop instead, which really, really does suck. So, yeah, but if you can't hear me, just let me know. Okay. Now, I need to put it in edit. Why is it not working? Do you guys know how annoying this is? Like literally so annoying. I can't believe it. Okay. I decided I want to be outside because it's a lot nicer outside. That's my opinion, personally. Okay. Obviously, you can hear the birds. Oh, yeah. On the wrist, obviously, wearing my Oris Aquas. I guess, honestly, I kind of should have, like, restarted it, but that's besides the point. And if you do feel like saying something, obviously just put in the chat bar, and then we can have something going on there. Or not, I guess. Okay. And we are live. Oops, I don't want to do that. Discard. Okay. Link in bio. Cool. Good enough. We're good. Everybody's alive, I think. say. Bingo. Send to share options. Good enough. Okay, so now I did have a couple of questions that were asked earlier, so I might as well include those. I understand the background's not the most exciting. If I turn it around, then it's going to get all washed out, which really does suck. But here's the deal. Now, questions that were put to me through Instagram. I'll first of all answer those, and then I'll get things. All right. Yo, he says, yo. Okay. All right. That's good enough. Hey. All right. That's good. Okay. Some of these questions I got was pretty whack. Let's see. Let's go back to this. The first question: what is the airspeed velocity of an on-lane swallow? I didn't even care about that, so I didn't research into that or anything. So I'm not even going to bother with anything like that. I guess body count. I think that's a really weird question. I don't work for the mafia, and the other way to interpret that is not going to happen. So, obviously, I don't hit girls. That's the other one. Fell asleep in your math class. Oh, that's fine. I'm all good with that. I mean, you're probably not supposed to fall asleep in that, but I mean, it's probably could be worse. It could be much worse. It's math. Yeah. Okay. Wait. Were you in which 9 class were you in? Were you like 9B or? I'm trying to think. Which one? Which one was that? That's my question. Which one was that one? Yeah. Okay. The other thing. Wait. EAP. The EAP class. Wait. Is this? Yeah. Okay. You're from JJ, right? Okay. And EAP. Is it JJ? JJ Bolin, or which school is this? Because I taught math at a couple of different schools. Oh, okay. That must have been because I only taught the math. That was a couple. When was that? Oh, that was back in September. That one was that's when I was covering for Miss K. That was an interesting time. I would recommend not good. Okay. One of the many marks. I guess that would make sense. I was just like, because I had just taught math online over JJ Bolin, and I was just like, I'm like, if they fell asleep, because it was all live, right? It was all on, so it was all on Microsoft Teams. So when I was there, I was just like, I'm like, I felt like I was literally doing everything myself, and it's just no one was paying attention. I'm like, whatever you guys want, I'll do your homework for you. I don't care. But yeah. Anyways, I don't know who else is in here. I think it's just us right now. Take their time, filter in. Who knows? Probably be on here for about an hour or so. Oh yeah. No. What? Oh, who is it? Oh, King had asked that. Okay. Guess Renzi had asked who you got winning the NBA Finals. I think I'd said what I said. I said like obviously like the only team I really care about right now is Celtics. So there's that. But honestly, like I think that either Brooklyn or LA, to be honest, like it's I don't know. It's just there's not really a whole lot else going on. Yeah, I don't know. I think it's like there's that aspect of it. Wait, but how have you been then? Okay. Wait, whoa. One has to go. Sports cars or muscle cars? Okay. When you're talking about sports cars, are you talking about like a mid-engine? Like, are you talking about mid-engine rear-wheel drive, or are you talking like front-engine rear-wheel drive, or are you talking like high-end exotics, or are we talking about stuff like that anybody would deem as like a sports car? Like, for instance, anything that's a traditional rear-wheel drive platform. Like for instance, like a FRS or something like a Miata. all the way up to like, you know, something like a Bugatti Chiron. Like I want, okay, last option. Oh, okay. So you're just talking mostly about, okay. So honestly, I think like if are you talking about like getting rid of like high-end exotics? I would like, I like high-end exotics. They're useful for companies to showcase whatever they're doing, right? And obviously you can see that really ugly chair. That was my dad's old chair. I think we kind of had to get rid of it, remodeling his office and everything. But anyways, we had a, what was I going to say? Like high-end exotics are useful for companies to showcase what they can do, right? They're really showcasing a lot of design. They're useful for the company when they come out. The only issue with them is you and me as individuals probably will never actually be able to buy them. So if they disappeared, I don't know who would, like, the only people who would really notice it are the rich people, but we wouldn't have those quote unquote Halo cars anymore that we get posters and we all put up on our rooms. That's what I would see coming. But like if like, as opposed to like, you know, getting rid of like muscle cars, I think muscle cars are, you know, a mainstay of United States culture. I think they are a mainstay, like, you know, Canadian culture as well, because we do share a lot of similarities between Canada and the United States. But honestly, I don't necessarily think that that it'd be really useful to get rid of muscle cars in general. I think that we should keep muscle cars. But yeah, well, yeah, it's, as I said, they're not accessible to the average person. That's the biggest thing. The other thing that I would just say is that, like, I mean, you could say about you know, vintage muscle cars, right? Most people don't have $120,000 to blow on a, you know, a Chevelle SS, right? Like a 1970 Chevelle SS with a 454. But I personally, like, I mean, they both have a place, right? And like, I think there's certain things that don't deserve hype, right? Or they don't deserve to where like the amount of money that's gone into them, right? So, well, okay, you're saying I hope they never make electric muscle cars. Oh, actually, no. Did you see the Mach E, the Mustang Mach E, that weird like crossover thing? Did you see that? That's, yeah. Well, they're gonna do that, right? I don't know what they're going to do right now, but I think it's whack in my opinion. I personally don't. Oh, you didn't see that? Here, I'll pull it up on my phone. Where is it? Yeah, it's like a weird. Yeah, basically. I mean, here's it. Like, it looks kind of like that. I like. I mean, Tesla's no. Okay, no. So here's the thing. Teslas are. I I have a hard time like liking Tesla. Like, I think Tesla's like you know, there's some good things about it, but there's also some, like, you know, bad things. Like, there's some things that I like about Tesla and there's some things that I don't, which are kind of problematic. The Knight Rider. Oh, yeah. I mean, the thing is, there's too much electronics, right? And that's my big issue with it. When there's too many things that are electronics, there's more things to like. There's more things to go wrong, and it's also a lot like you're relying on a lot of well, I would say you're relying on a lot of tech, right? Now that can be a good thing, but it can also be a bad thing, right? For me personally, like, you know, there's all those people that say BMWs are unreliable. A lot of the time they're unreliable because that they're putting in new technology that's not really seen in a normal day-to-day basis in that aspect. So that's kind of that issue, is that they're not actually being showcased in most of these normal cars. And then when it breaks, because they're a precursor or they're an early adopter of these technologies, like most of the technology that you see in a BMW will eventually make itself into mainstream cars 10 years down the road. But when it's like, you know, all the issues have already been ironed out. So that's one of the issues there. But it's like when people are talking about Teslas, like, I think that, first of all, the battery technology is not there yet. Once we find, it's not that we can't create the power, it's we can't really store it, right? And that's my biggest issue with it. We can't store the power that we're creating. Teslas are decent cars. They're not terrible cars. I just personally don't, like, I think the biggest thing is range anxiety. That's my thing. But I don't want Teslas to, yeah, I don't want them to, like, eventually replace, you know, vehicles and, like, are what we deem as, like, cars. Oh, I guess probably you probably want to know which watch I'm wearing. It's the Oris Aquis. I guess I don't think I really said anything about that. But yeah, what I would say is that when a company is like an early adopter of something, then there are usually issues that come into play. One of the biggest things that I've noticed with a lot of the Teslas that are you know, are older Teslas is that they're coming out and they're having a lot of electrical issues. Because it's technology, right? And it's whenever it's thing about it, because you know, it's software, right? And you have to update the software. You have to do a lot of these things. And I don't really know. I don't claim to know a lot of Tesla's really, you know, in depth kind of ideas and what they're working with when it comes to, like, software development and, you know, updating it. But eventually, think about it this way: Apple, for the most part, updates a lot of their old products. Now, you get to a certain point. I mean, if you're using an iPhone 4 at this point in time, I would just think that's pretty crazy. Yeah, I think, yeah, it's a couple of neighbors and stuff doing work on stuff, so it might be a little bit loud. But yeah, like, there's issues in regards to that, right? So it's more or less, oh, the truck design. I thought that was stupid. It was ugly, in my opinion. I don't think that electric trucks are bad. I just think that I mean, it looks like something that a toddler scribbled, or like a kindergarten kid. I think I've seen better artistic design for coming from a kid in kindergarten, which I don't like teaching, by the way. That's like kind of like my thing that I'm just like, no thanks. If you make me teach like kindergarten or grade 1, I can handle. It's just not for very long. I just don't like it. I have like a cap. Like, I did a 2 weeks COVID leave stint covering a grade 1, 2 split class. That was not so much fun. Well, no, the kids weren't bad. It's just they wouldn't shut up, and they're so needy. They're always tattling on each other, and I'm just like, no. What do you want to become? Like, more specific. Like, are you? Oh, okay. Oh, you taught middle school years ago. Okay, that's funny. Dude, which district did you teach in? Okay, what do I want to become? Oh, the other question, Rekha Roy. I would say, I mean, I'm a teacher right now. I've subbed for this last couple of years. Oh, classic watch or smartwatch? Oh, in New York City. That's really cool. Yeah, I mean, I haven't gotten my way over to the Big Apple. Is it really as bad as people say it smells? Like, in Manhattan, they say it smells like super bad. Every single one of my friends that's gone to like New York City, they say it smells super bad there. Is it as bad as they actually say it is? Oh, and then for career, so right now I'm kind of like, I'm teaching, right? So and then the other thing I do is I do buy and sell watches on the side. So I do actually have an Instagram page that I kind of just started up a little bit a while ago, and then I do have a Facebook page, which I guess I could throw the link down in there. I mean, not some really promotional content at any point in time, but it's called Karox Watches, and that's kind of what something that I do on the side. Oh, yeah, okay. Well, you don't live there anymore. That's pretty. I mean, I've just heard like interesting things about New York. Yeah, but classic watch or smartwatch? Want us to go? Honestly, I personally would choose to rather keep like, I don't own any smartwatches. I don't. But yeah, I wouldn't. I would probably keep classic watches alive and mechanical ownership, because the thing about this, if we look around, how many old phone boxes do you have, and like an unused, like, just junk drawer of old electronics that you just have in your house? I'm pretty sure every single person has something like that. So it's like we have a ton of like just used junk, and we get rid of it and we throw it in a box. But e-waste is one thing that they're just starting to now talk about e-waste and how bad it is, and like how we have to like break down all of the electronical stuff. But yeah, it's, I don't know. I'm more of like, it's because it's gonna be outdated technology in 3 to 4 years, right? So they're gonna keep you on that loop to buy new stuff, right? So an Apple Watch, you know, you're gonna get a new life cycle of it every single year, and everybody's gonna want the new thing. Same with the new phone, right? I mean, like I had a 5S for how long did I have that thing? So many. Yeah, like literally, as you said, it's like you can keep on passing this thing down, right? You can keep on passing watches down. But I had an iPhone 5S for the longest time. I replaced it with an XR, and then I replaced my XR 2 years later with the 12 Pro, which is actually what I used to film most of the stuff with. In the case is a little ratty, but I don't care too much. But you know, most people want the newest, the latest, the greatest, especially when it comes to you know, phones and technology. Consumer electronics really is what it is. And it comes down to like, you know, like video games. People don't like, when was the last time you plugged in a 20-year-old console and played it? Not very often. Chances are, well, you could, well, yeah. A great point is that people always want new tech. Yeah. You could pass down Apple Watch. I mean, you could, right? Theoretically, you could. The only thing that I've seen happening, there was one guy in one of our forums, and he had a Belova Accutron, I think it was a Space View, one of the really, really old quartz things. The only problem is like some of the watches, like these digital watches, and I'm not just talking about like, I'm talking about like quartz and digital. I'm not just talking about like smartwatches. The only thing is that eventually you're like the LCD screens in your digital watches are gonna like fail on you, right? So you have like with Casios, you probably have maybe a 10, 15, 20 year time span before they like eventually you know, pass out kind of on you. But I need to exit this. Okay, there we go. Yeah. But no, like I had a Casio as my very first watch that my parents bought me. It was just like a very simple. I don't remember the reference number on it, but that one, it literally bricked itself very recently after I filmed a video for my watch collection, which I do have on there on YouTube, and then I basically, while I was filming it, it literally just the LCD screen just shut off, and it was losing pixels in it. So like there's that. I mean, the battery might have bricked itself. I think it was just the battery, but if I put it in, like a lot of the LCDs are gonna break. Want us to go Jeff Bezos, Elon Musk, or Bill Gates? Okay, we're talking. Oh, do you mean like has to go in terms of like we take out their accomplishments with them, or just like right now has to go? Because if just right now, like take out past accomplishments with them. Probably. If we had to like axe one person out of history, it's them and everything that's stemmed from them. I'd probably go between Jeff Bezos and Bill Gates. I like Elon Musk. I like him as like kind of like an individual. No, I mean Bezos, like, okay, let's be real here. Bill Gates is famous for what he did in the sense of like and how he became the richest person, but it was all based on tech, right? And I like, it's not that any idiot couldn't design an operating software. He just happened to be like the really, really successful guy to design this, right? You have, I mean, no one really ever uses Linux or whatever, and most people are using either Windows, Mac, or I guess Linux is the third one. I think that's what the other operating software is. But it's like, you know, Windows came out first, right? And I believe it's I mean, obviously you have someone that was working in underneath it. Yeah, I would say, yeah, Bezos has changed the face of e-commerce, right? I mean, I'm not necessarily a big proponent of e-commerce in a lot of ways. I think the Amazon cycle is kind of, I mean, I don't know, like they say it's killing brick and mortar, but I mean, that's a whole other story, right? But I mean, I would say like Jeff Bezos, they all have good accomplishments. I just won't touch Musk because I think he's a cool guy. Outside of like, I mean, he's just a revolutionary thinker, right? you know, I mean, Bezos has been really smart. I'm not, maybe I'm just not really a big Bill Gates fan in general. I think that what he's, and I think maybe the biggest thing is that I wasn't alive, you know, back in the, you know, in the 80s when like when there was that huge kind of like the ability for him or, you know, for us per se to like, or at least me anyways, to experience like what the revolution was. Like, for instance, when I grew up, I mean, I was born in the 90s. So the early 90s anyways. And then if like, for me, my experience with computers was the one computer that the whole family had. And it was probably running like, I think what, Windows 95 or was it 97 or something like that? No, sorry, 98, I think was the one. And then they went to like O2 or something, then like XP, and then there was that Vista garbage. But like every and even in my kindergarten class, I remember going to kindergarten. 99 was when I started, and our school had all those ancient like 19 what are they like early late 80s, early 90s Macs all in our computer labs, because I'm pretty sure that's just what had been donated to the classroom. So yeah, Vista was garbage. I didn't really have a chance to use it. Now it's like you look at all like my operating softwares are just going to change, right? I just think that like what Bill Gates did was revolutionary. I think he just knew how to, you know, slap the patent on it and you know, market it really well. And I think he was a really good business person. As far as like, you know, Apple or Microsoft. Interesting. Well, I mean, like, interestingly enough, I mean, pretty much every single product has been replicated, but I think that they would have come to fruition just through someone else. I don't think that, you know, Microsoft, because they made, you know, Office products, and I mean, they're the premier products that we're using, right? Like we're using, you know, I mean, at the school district, we're using Teams. You know, we use Outlook, we use, you know, like Word. These are products that we're all used to using. We've been using them for so long. It's not that Apple makes crap products, but like literally, when was the last time you opened Note? Mind you, I have an iPhone, I have a MacBook. So these are things that, like, in my personal usage of stuff, I use Apple products. In my professional usage, I use PC. So like, if we're talking about personal, I personally prefer to use Apple products. Professional usage, I prefer to use Microsoft products. Maybe that's just like, I guess like even for me, like if we're just talking product, like but the thing is like MacBooks are so much, like, I think they're just easier and nicer to use. But it's like when you think about, okay, when without Microsoft there'd be no Apple, and without the Abacus there'd be no Apple. I'm like, well, true, right? Yeah, I think that there's you know, there's other things in there, right? But yeah, I don't really know what anybody else would kind of go on that route. I don't know. That's a really tough one. I think I'd probably say get rid of Apple then. I think, like, I mean, if we're just talking about, are we talking about like PCs? Are we also talking like spilling over into everything? Because like, let's be real, like Windows phones, want us go mohawks or mullets, man buns. Can we? I mean, man buns. I think they're stupid. I don't like them. Maybe it's like, I don't know. I think I would go bald before I could even grow out that the amount of hair needed for that. But I just don't like man buns. I just think they're gross. That's just a personal opinion. I mean, I don't really want to offend anybody, but you know, I mean, the world just gets offended by existing, so I don't really care at this point. Yeah, I mean, mohawks are always going to be something that's going to probably be there. I mean, mullets are, I mean, they're laughable. Oh boy, I wouldn't. Miley Cyrus is just, she's Miley Cyrus. No comment there. I just, whatever she does, I'm just like, okay, well, whatever. Okay, cool. Like, I mean, you have money, and you probably just don't really care how you spend it. So, okay, want us to go the Matrix 1 or the Terminator 1? I've never been a big Matrix fan, but the Terminator, okay, let's be real. On all accounts, the Terminator wasn't like actually that amazing of a movie. Like, that's kind of my hot take. The second one was way better. they just had a really, really good idea. It's the execution of it wasn't the most amazing thing. Terminator was like, it was a pretty cool movie, and the idea was, but it's like, it wasn't anything crazy special if you think about it. Like, the other kinds of movies that were coming out in the 80s were just as good. Yeah, no, second one is way better. But no, I think honestly, the Matrix is pretty trippy. I think film-wise, the Matrix is a way better film, but like, you know, I guess like the whole idea of, you know, Terminator is just, it's cool. I don't know. I guess I don't know. Maybe I think I'd probably keep Terminator and get rid of Matrix, to be honest. Ooh, that reminds me. I probably should answer some of these other questions for any of the other people who want to, who actually just didn't want to join the live stream, but I don't know what's going on. There we go. I don't know why I didn't do that. Okay. All right. Body count. What? No. Weirdo. Okay. Yeah. These other questions that I got, these are pulling directly from Instagram that I got asked. Where are they here? If I can get into my things. Okay. So what? Who's asking body count? Body count for what? Let's go Starbucks coffee or Dunkin' Donuts. We don't have Dunkin' Donuts up here in Canada. Starbucks is overrated, to be honest. That's just my opinion. Why did someone on? Well, I don't kill anybody. Maybe you can talk about my kill death ratio in Call of Duty. That was okay. This is weird. What is my favorite academic subject? Like we talk teaching wise. I mean, my favorite subject to teach is probably social studies. Because it doesn't like it's more of one of those thinking ones. It's not like you can either make it a lot of fun or it can be really boring, right? Yeah, but I mean, I don't know. Maybe I'll have to go down to the States and try Dunkin' Donuts. We got Tim Hortons, but Tim Hortons coffee isn't even that good. Like everybody thinks that Tim Hortons coffee is so good. And then I'm like, you know, I'm over here and I'm just like, nah, I don't really care about it. I'm like, yeah, sure, maybe I'll have like a French vanilla or something like that, but no. We love Canada and America. Yeah. I mean, maybe, who knows? I've met a lot of Americans. It's always the Americans from the deep south that are like the most clueless people when it comes to like anything in regards to Canada. It's kind of funny. They basically all think we're like from like Wisconsin or like Minnesota, and I'm just like, no. You go a little farther north and there's something there, but yeah, I mean, like, I don't know. Or they all think we sound like we're from Newfoundland or like, you know, back east, like New Brunswick or Nova Scotia. They got pretty distinct accents. Or I guess people from Quebec. Want us to go McDonald's, Burger King, or Taco Bell? I honestly really don't like McDonald's. I just don't. Burger King's whatever. Taco Bell, I can't remember the last time I had Taco Bell. I legit can't. I think it might have been when I worked at a gas station when I was 18, 19. That was a long time ago. But only for the first 5 minutes. Once they get cold, it's over. You want something interesting? You can drop a fry down in your car, and it'll still look the same like 6 months later when you go to clean it out. That should probably tell you that you're not cleaning your car enough. But yeah, no, it's pretty crazy that way. What was this other one? Oh, top 3 vacuum models. I mean, Dyson makes some really good vacuums, I guess. Woman saved McDonald's burger in its original wrapping for 30 years. She did not keep it in the refrigerator. It was in clause. She ate it and it tasted fine. Didn't get sick. Wait. I need a link to that. I want to see this. That can't be real. That can't be real. That's whack. That's disgusting. No, that can't be real. That can't be real. That's gross. That's gross. Oh, we got this question. Favorite car. So Reese, if you want to pay attention to that, it's a true story. I have to Google that. Now, so once I'm gonna get off this, I'm gonna Google that and look it up. Yeah, what's my favorite car? I mean, my 3rd generation Prelude is probably the favorite car I've owned. I mean, if I were to probably say yeah, it's technically my favorite car because the likelihood of me owning a 1st generation NSX is really low. I mean, it's not saying that the bar wouldn't be there to actually maybe get one day, but I think that there's probably other things I'd probably splurge my money on before I put my money into a car. Although at this point, it's weird because a lot of people are talking about the car market and seeing a lot of these older Japanese cars just are shooting up in value. Like the prices on Supras are crazy. I remember when you could get like a left-hand drive you know, like an NA car. Go left time. Oh, yeah, Prius. Like a hey, good gas mileage then. But like left-hand drive cars that are just like insanely expensive. Um, and like I remember like left-hand drive supers are just crazy. There's a bug on the laptop. But I remember when you could get like these left-hand drive vehicles for like left-hand drive non-turbo for like maybe for like 10 grand. I remember those days. Those days were good. Oh, cool. My mom joined. That's cool. What do I think about Kickstarter watches? Most of the time Kickstarter watches are kind of weird because in some ways they can be good, but a lot of times the biggest issue that I find with Kickstarter is they're by a company that usually they might come up with a really cool idea. Yeah, they're like the Kickstarter stuff. Usually they come up with a cool idea and they market it, and usually they're aggressive. They're aggressive social media marketers, which is good because they know how to work the system. The problem is the product doesn't deliver. A lot of times when they try and market a luxury automatic timepiece, it usually has a third-party Miyota movement that's crammed in there. If it's an automatic, most of the time I'm seeing them market these things as these luxury timepieces in the quartz. I'm like, it's not. Yeah. Oh, you don't know Kickstarter watch it? Go like, yeah. So Kickstarter, it, like when they do crowdfunding, right? So they're going through crowdfunding. Oh, you're using a Bulova. Which Bulova? Yeah, but no, Kickstarter, like watches that are usually started, like watch companies that usually start through Kickstarter, like I believe the one was Filippo Loretti, was the brand that was on Kickstarter. But that, I mean, some of their stuff, I mean, they're using a lot of they're using, I think Miyotas is what they're using it. Mind you, like my thing is like my thing is, okay, the Miyotas aren't crap. I kind of think of them as like they're a cheap entry level automatic movement, right? That's citizen based. That's sold to a lot of other companies. My personal opinion is I wouldn't want to put one in there. There's a lot other better things I would put in probably before I get a watch with a Miyota in it, or a Miyota automatic, anyways. But yeah, like I wouldn't go that route in my opinion. But yeah, it's like when a lot of people talk and they're just like, oh, it's cheap this, it's cheap that. So it's like model 98 R22 R211. Okay, maybe I'll search that up in a second here. Here, I can get that. Thoughts on Chrysler 300s, especially all blacked out. Jose. Okay. Does this imply that you want to get pulled over by the cops all the time? Okay. I see. That's interesting. Wait, is it that two-tone one? No. See, Chrysler 300s have their place, but yeah, I just personally don't like them. Okay. Yeah, because it's a two-tone one with you're looking. I think this is like a gold kind of a gold bracelet kind of thing with a, is that diamond bezel? Interesting. Interesting look. Yeah, no, but no, Kickstarter watches are kind of, there's a bee right at my foot. I don't like dealing with that. No, Kickstarter watches are kind of like, back to that question. Kickstarter watches are just companies that start on Kickstarter. Just they're a lot of the times their marketing is something that they're not. Especially when it's like affordable luxury. I just hate that. I hate the term affordable luxury. Like a luxury is something that usually it's like there's a bar of exclusivity. You can't just say affordable luxury. And it's like, it's kind of like when car companies say the most luxurious in its class. I'm like, what the heck does that even mean? Like literally. That's smart. Stuff so that you can match whatever jewelry you wear. That's why you get two-tone. It's smart because then you're not, I mean, unless you have like multiple watches, and if you have like 20 something watches, then you don't have to match it. But yeah, like I think it could go that route. My tea is getting cold. I wonder if I can get, no, I don't have the extension cord there. Darn it. I have to figure out how I'm gonna plug in my laptop. I'm like at 23%. We'll see how long this lasts. I only have a vintage one. Okay, what vintage watch do you have? Should you turbo your Accord? Your Accord's pretty clean as is. I've seen it. It's a nice piece of machine. When it has the face, you have to open. Oh, you're talking like a pocket watch. Oh, okay. That's kind of cool. Okay, should you turbo your Accord? Depends on how much money you want to drop into it, and if that's the chassis you want to drop it into, right? Oh, you don't know you got an estate sale. Estate sales are actually pretty good places to pick stuff up. The only problem is, like, it can be one of two things when it comes to estate sales. Like, it can either be like that they overvalue what things are worth by crazy things because they get an appraiser who comes in. Appraisals, like when people sell watches, is on like, especially people who don't know watches, they sell watches. Oh, it's a wristwatch. Huh. That's interesting. I actually want to know what that is now. If you can find me on Instagram here, I'll put my Instagram tag in here, and if you want to message me that, it's a cover like a pocket watch. Yeah, sometimes what they would do is they would retrofit pocket watches. So they would take it and they would put the pocket watch and they would like weld lugs onto it. But yeah, if you wanna send me the picture of that, I'll put my Instagram down in there and you can just DM it to me and I can take a look-sees at it. But yeah, I'd want to see what that is. That'd be pretty cool. Yeah. So okay, back to Jose's question. Turbo. Oh, Rainier. Okay, all right, there you go. You're alive and well. Good. Watch, everybody's gonna start showing up as soon as my battery drops below 20%. The weird thing that kind of bugged me about this, so I go to start it on my mobile, right? And this is 20 minutes before. And I'm like, okay, so why isn't it letting me upload? I realized I didn't hit the subscriber count that it needs to go mobile. And I was like, I'm like, well, there's third-party apps I could use for it, but I was just like, I'm like, no, I can't do that right now. Okay, cool. Mystery top. Cool. Yeah. No, but I want Rainier. How are you doing? Are you staying out of trouble? That's the real question. That's the real question we have right now. Want us to go R2D2 or C3PO? What? Okay, you can't take one out with the other. Okay, no. I'm getting rid of C3PO because let's be real. Okay, if we think about all of Star Wars, are you doing good in school? Yes? No? Someone looking out for you? Is Renzi making sure that you aren't doing anything stupid and still getting hoops? Okay, but I would say I'm getting rid of, like, if we think about this, literally the reason why Jar Jar Binks was in the Phantom Menace was because like, okay, the success of R2D2 and C3PO throughout the original trilogy is there for comic relief. They are what? Okay, yes, you're keeping, which is cool. Okay, yeah, I would say R2D2 is the more useful. Well, they're both useful. R2D2 is just more useful in more situations. If I think about for piloting stuff, like what can C3PO do? I mean, I guess in like the Lego games, he could like open certain doors, but other than that, he like, yeah, Wicked Sense of Dry Humor. Yeah, so it's like they were there for comic relief, right? That's what was going on. The biggest thing that was like the difference, I would say, between like what happened in the original trilogy is we tolerated that. We liked them because the characters were funny and they were an integral part of the story, right? They were actually useful. Jar Jar Binks, like yes, he was important to the Phantom Menace, but it's like it all seemed like very kind of like the humor was forced, right? So like he was funny and he was like, okay, we're good. Like honestly, C3PO and R2D2 are going to appeal to children. That's my whole thing about that. I think that they're great. The thing is like basically my opinion is George Lucas was like, we have these great characters, let's try and do it again. And then he like messed up. It's kind of like how like most movies, they make a sequel and it really sucks. That's kind of my opinion of what Jar Jar Binks was, because he's kind of like the sequel of C3PO and R2D2, except it was one person and it was like incredibly clumsy and stupid. Like you can't do that in like in that aspect. I personally, I thought it was, I was like, that's dumb in my opinion. I mean, like, Jar Jar Binks wasn't the worst character. I mean, they fleshed out his character a little bit more in Clone Wars, but in the sense of like that, the TV show, I think they really just made fun of him, right? That's not like they basically just made him like stupid for stupid sake. Like it became to the point where it's like he just did such stupid stuff that it was like you would just expected it. What? Oh, an extension cord. Yeah, there we go. Thank you. Yeah. Oh, that reminds me, Rainier, if you're still in this, are you going to be because the basketball season was shut down for this year? I know that. Are you going to try and get on the team like you and Renzi play next year? Yes, no, maybe so. I'm going to plug this in. Otherwise, we're going to lose power. I can literally take this anywhere I want now. Okay, yeah. Whoa. Well, Record Roy, cool. Thank you. I don't think I'm that knowledgeable on a lot of things, but some things I know, some things I don't know. Clowns or mimes? Can we get rid of both? I mean, like, mimes are just stupid. Okay, that story. I have to throw it out there. Oh, is it what? Why? Okay, what's making it hard to get the team at FX? Oh, I didn't. Wait, you guys went to FX instead of Romero? Okay. Why is it a hard team? Terrified of clowns. I mean, most people are clowns, so. The one person I'm very knowledgeable. Ask Rainier. I was I see. It's Gael. Cool. All right, thank you for joining. Yes. Oh no, but I was gonna say that people who say that I'm knowledgeable. I think if Rainier remembers that science class, that was one brutal. So that was one brutal year. I feel sorry for everybody who had to endure that. That was a lot of interesting things. Become a bricklayer. You just want me to work with you. That's all. I'm not gonna lay bricks. Do you know how boring building retaining walls and stuff is? I'm not doing that stuff. I went to school so I didn't have to do manual labor. Man, I've operated machines. I'm not like I know better than to do that. Like heavy duty like equipment operating. My goodness, I've driven Packers. I've driven like tractors and stuff. It's incredibly boring. You do that for 50 hours a week? Nah, I can't do that. I'm bored silly. Like 10-hour shifts. And people are like, oh, that's nothing. I'll work 60 hours. I'm like, I can't work over 50 hours driving equipment. I can't. I get too bored. It'd be like driving like, and it's like, think about it. You just, oh my goodness. Oh, wait. Oh, one has to go Jordan in his prime or LeBron in his prime. Oh, okay. I'm a Jordan fan. I'm sorry. Like, look, I think LeBron's like, he's an overall amazing player, but I don't know. I just personally don't. I don't. LeBron's too whiny. That's my opinion. Jordan just. I don't know. I feel like a lot of things just like cater to LeBron. Wait. Oh, Rainier. Lots of people are good. What? I mean, I thought you were good. You're a good ball player. Come on. You can't be that good. Just body them. I was like that one game. That reminds me. There was this one game that I reffed. And that was the only game I reffed. And it was like literally because the other teachers refused. LeBron is not the GOAT. Michael Jordan. I think LeBron is a close second. I think he has better. Okay, think about it. If Jordan didn't leave to go play baseball and be an idiot for 2 more years, what could he be accomplished? Also, it's like, man, the guy left and said he was retiring all the time. He's like, I'm gonna retire. Comes back. Man, I bet you if he could like get himself into shape, he'd still be able to make an NBA roster. Maybe like I know, would he be as good as like any like would he put out? He'd probably be a bench warmer at this point, but he could probably still crack an NBA roster if he got back into shape. But I don't think like at this point, like I think that like LeBron is he's a complete player. Jordan had a very, like, Jordan was just more, like, I would say, I don't know. Like, they're both good, right? They're both amazing. I just think I personally like Jordan better for what he did for basketball. And I think, like, you know, Jordan is, like, I guess it's also because, you know, when I was a kid, all anybody really cared about was Jordan. It's Jordan and then Kobe. And obviously I'm going to say, you know, rest in peace, but like, I don't think Kobe is as good as LeBron. I think he's an amazing player, and I think he's definitely deserved to be in, you know, top 10, but he's not as good as one has to go Dwayne Wade or Dennis Rodman. Ooh. I'm like, Rodman's kind of one-dimensional in his game, right? He's good defensively and he's a good rebounder, or in fact, one of the best rebounders. He's a very scrappy attitude and he's a fighter, right? I think that's really important. And I think that's awesome. So, you know, there's that. But overall, I mean, it's really hard to choose. I mean, I'd probably pick Dennis Rodman to stay. But no. Oh, what I was gonna say about that, the reffing thing was I had to ref a game, and that was like just brutal. And because the other teachers, like, I coached basketball, so but the other teachers went, like, they were like, no, we're not gonna ref. And I'm just like, are you kidding me? So they made me ref it. I could barely remember half the rules. I mean, like, I played, right? And I coached, but I was just like, I'm like freaking out. There's no one else to ref with me because the refs didn't show up. Going back to back. I please hope not. And then, yeah, anyway, so I remember the thing that I remember the most was the coach on the other team. And it was funny because, like, the team that the two teams that were refereeing, one was for the school I taught at, and they just blew them out of the water. What did you guys win to, like 70 something to like 18? You just steamrolled them. Yeah, the refs just didn't show up to this game. So the other coach was like, because I was waiting, because the junior boys and the junior girls, they play back to back, right? And so I had to ref a game, and as one of the guys in here, he knows it because he's one of the players. And so I basically ended up having to ref for this game, and I was just like, I'm like, this is ridiculous. And I was stupid because, like, the coach originally was like, oh, you know, we'll just be nice, like, whatever. She starts, like, yelling at me, telling me I'm not calling this, not calling that. I'm like, dude, your team's losing by 60 points. It doesn't matter what I call or not. Go home. Like, I just want this to be over and done with. But I remember this. So there was this one thing. Renzi is asking what should be his first car. Oh, has he asked any of the has he watched any of the other videos I've uploaded on that? If he hasn't, that's where he should probably first start with that. But I mean, if he wants to DM me, I don't mind answering any of his questions. He said not yet. See? You have to do your research. Do your research. Come on. Do your research. He's a smart kid. No, but I remember, yeah, okay, Rainier, remember that charge that you should have got called for, because you basically offensive charged the guy and basically put him into, like, you probably bodied him like at least 5 feet. Is that scrawny tall kid? You just basically went up for the lip and just poof, bodied the crap out of him. I just remember that, and I didn't call it as a charge, and I really should have. So I was just like, I remember you looked at me afterwards. You're just like, oh, okay. Yeah. Want to go Lucky Charms, Captain Crunch, Fruity Pebbles, Apple Jacks. I don't eat any of those. I mean, Captain Crunch is okay. Lucky Charms is, yeah, interesting at best. But no, you can tell a lot about. Yeah, okay. Well, I would say I personally just I don't know. I like Fruit Loops or like Cheerios, to be honest. They have a weird aftertaste. It's like false advertising. What? I've never had them. Maybe it's because I don't know. Maybe in Canada we just get different stuff. Like your guys's, I think, was in Mexico. Mexico is really weird corn pops. Like they're weird. They're just weird. Fruity Pebbles are my favorite still, by the way. It gets super soggy. I don't know. I don't think I've ever seen them in any grocery stores here. Oh. The very first thing, Rainier, you can tell Renzi this. The very, very first thing, what you should ask yourself when it comes to buying a car is, what is your budget? If you don't have a budget in mind, it becomes very, very hard to really kind of go about buying anything if you don't have a budget. If you're just gonna kind of goof around and like think about like anything, you just need a budget. Actually I put in, there was actually just the most recent video that I uploaded, which I was, because I made it because one of the people that I kind of talked to, I guess kind of an acquaintance of mine, was asking about cars, and she wanted to get her first car, and I was just like, hey, well, I might as well make a video out of it, because I get asked these questions so often that I was just like, why not? I'll just make the video. Okay, how? Yeah, I'm not even gonna try that. That's too complicated. Tongue twister's weird. Trippy. Okay, wait a second. What else do we got? I got other weird questions I'm supposed to answer. Do I like the Nets as a basketball team? No. I mean, like, I'm a big Kyrie Irving fan. I like Kyrie Irving because he's like, like when I play basketball as a guard, so I just really like his layup package. I like a lot of things that he does in that aspect. But overall, I mean, as like a team, I mean, I wish they had Russell Westbrook. I know that kind of like conflicts with the whole, with Kyrie, there's no really point of having Westbrook, but like it's just, I mean, it would be really cool just to see like those three reunited and win a championship. I mean, it could have been cool in OKC, but didn't happen. Yeah, and then also, which one was that? Best and worst ice cream flavors. I mean, the best I'd probably say either, like, I like bubblegum. Tiger's amazing. I know it might be kind of weird because the black licorice taste. I like those. Worst. I'm not a big fan of matcha. Or those like weird green tea ice creams, or like just stuff like that. I don't know why. It's like anything that's kind of like has a weird bitter aftertaste. I'm not a big fan of that. I think ice cream should be a little bit sweeter, but not like too crazy sweet. Obviously, I mean, bubblegum's kind of sweet, but favorite board game. I mean, board game in like probably Settlers Catan. Tabletop games though would probably be. I'd probably go with what's a good? Probably Warhammer 40K. Lord of the Rings strategy battle game is pretty good, and then Legion's pretty fun game. X-Wing was fun. I used to play that a lot, but I don't play that anymore. What I get? Okay, who got it? And I think those are all the ones that I got left over from Instagram that were just filtered in. Okay, Kyrie can go up against LeBron or KD. Yeah, I mean, in general, probably. I think that there's parts of things. Like, I don't know. I think that overall, Kyrie's I think he's just, like, if we're talking point guard aside, Kyrie's way better than LeBron, I think. LeBron just does a lot of LeBron's a way more complete player, way better player in general. Just it's a more complete game. But Kyrie's very specific. Like, he has a very specific, narrow kind of thing that he can do. He does that just phenomenally. I think he's probably one of the top 5 point guards in the league. And he's probably one of, I would say, maybe I would go as far to say he's probably top 3 ball handlers in the league, because he's so good at crossing people up. Miguel, do I play video games? Occasionally. Not really anymore. I used to play a lot more, but I don't really anymore. That's probably a little bit unfortunate, I guess, to some people. Some people yes, some people no. I should have taken this tea bag out. It was that's like super strong at the bottom. What did I used to play? I used to play a lot of Call of Duty, like tons and tons and tons of Call of Duty. Played Call of Duty. What else did I play? I played a bit of Halo. Like, I played a lot of Halo 3, Halo ODST. Used to be with all my buddies, but that was kind of here there. When's the 1v1 gonna come up? Wait, what 1v1? Which 1v1? Rainier, which 1v1 are we talking about? Want us to go Nintendo or Sega? I mean, Sega probably. I mean, like, oh, why? I thought you. Wait, oh, you. Man, do you know how out of shape I am? I haven't been able to play basketball in a while. Rainier, you're gonna win. That's okay. I'll take the L on that one. I'll take the L. You don't have to show me up. You don't have to embarrass me. Only when kids like, only when people like really bug me do I have to play. like what King did, and then you guys all put it on Instagram live. That was funny. I just kind of felt bad afterwards because I beat him so bad. And really some great advancements from Atari. Nintendo is my favorite. I personally think that Sega's the best gaming system. Okay, honestly, their systems were pretty advanced for the time period. I think they were good systems. Were the game selection? They didn't have a whole lot of exclusive titles, though. That's the one thing. So yeah, I'd say you're right on that. Nintendo's the best game selection, and it's really some of the great advancements from Atari. Nintendo's my favorite. Yeah, I'd agree. I mean, I like overall now. I would say for a casual person just to play around a game, I think that you know. Nintendo is by far the best console. If you're not serious about gaming, like I would get a Switch instead. How fast can I type? Probably, I think I mean, like I don't really take typing tests anymore. I think the last one I took, I think I was at 65 words per minute, something like that. 65, maybe, I don't know. I can't remember. I literally can't remember. Trying to think. Speedy? Yeah, I don't know. It's actually weird. I remember. Oh, Sergio, how you doing? When let's go Spider-Man, Superman, or Batman? Superman, to be honest. Do you think the Nets will win it all? Maybe. Not 100% certain. That's good. What was I gonna say now? Yeah. Little Bear Gelatin's Bubblegum. Yeah, the stuff that you brought home was actually really good. What was I gonna say now? I think Robert Pattinson from the Twilight movies was perfect choice for the new Batman movie. I haven't seen it, and when's it? I don't even know if because I honestly. Here's the thing: as soon as they locked down everything, closed down movie theaters, and did all that, I zero knowledge about what was coming up, anything. I just kind of paid attention to literally the only things I really paid attention to were watches and cars, and that's about it. And then obviously whatever was, if there was public announcements about teaching, which coming up, I think there should be some stuff coming up for. Oh, that reminds me, I need to get on my resume stuff. The real question is, which schools should I apply for? That's the question. For next year, anyways. That's the question. Although probably I'm going to try and stick something. Maybe, I don't know. I don't really care where I go, actually. Well, because I'm north side. North side's big no-no. Yeah, I keep you saying Spider-Man. Okay, great question. Yeah, I have no idea when that's supposed to come out. Ooh, that reminds me. Commute. It depends. Like, anytime. Okay, what's my commute like? Okay, anytime that I have like depends on the school, like because right now I'm subbing, so I've been over like last year when I was subbing, I went to about I think 4 or 5 different schools in the district, and that was it. And then this year I think I've been to 30, almost 30. I think I'm at 29 different schools in the district. So I think that's just because I'm not being picky about where I go. I think it's just if there's a job, I'll take it. I like money, so some of the kids are good, some of the kids are bad, some of the kids are throwing desks, some of the kids are doing crazy stuff. Yeah, but it generally depends. Like, I mean, anything. I think the farthest one I had to take was about a 35-minute drive, and that was mostly freeway driving. But generally speaking, if I can try and get one, I like to keep it under 20. But most of my commute, like I've been traveling over to JJ Bolin on the north side of the city, which honestly I actually really like that school sub at. It's pretty cool school. The kids there are pretty good. So that one is about a 25-minute commute. Yeah, that's kind of where that is. But I do like that school quite a bit. I mean, if I taught there, maybe. But I mean, like it's different when like I mean, I don't know. It's a cool school. I've been there the past couple weeks. But McDavid or Crosby? That's a good question. I think that McDavid right now has probably a higher ceiling, considering he's less. Yeah, 25 minutes each way. Sorry. I think McDavid has a higher ceiling if they're like a higher potential right now because if you think about it, Crosby was injured and very concussion prone, whereas McDavid hasn't hit a lot of like speed bumps in per se of injuries right now. I think that there's more potential in that aspect. But we got fire trucks. If my dog was out here, she'd start howling. Hair gel or hair mousse? I don't use hair mousse. I use hair gel. And probably in, who knows, maybe 10 years, I won't even have hair. So then I'll be bald. No, I don't know. Who knows? I don't really care, actually. I do not care if I lose all my hair. Just means I get to like wax it or something. Like I'd have it all shiny or something like that. Not like my one buddy. I think hair gel is a guy thing. Probably. I don't think mousse is really marketed to guys. Yeah, interesting. I don't know if my girlfriend will still like me when I'm bald. Who knows? I don't know. She says she will, but we don't know. We do not know. Where was that other? I think there was a question I missed in the chat here. Why is there a B? Okay, John Travolta looks hot now. He's gone bald. He's always looked kind of funky. His face kind of weirds me out, to be honest. He's probably a super nice dude, but he just looks kind of weird. Yeah, Jean-Luc Picard reminds me of Jeff Bezos for some reason. As weird as that is, I don't know. That's just that. I don't know. I'm not a big Star Trek fan though. I don't watch that. That's to be honest. I haven't really thought about that in general, actually. Huh. Interesting. No. No. Okay. How long have I been at this? Oh, almost just over an hour. Wow. Okay. I mean, the first like 10 minutes, nothing happened though. What if you could like edit that out? Okay. I think I'll probably. Well, how long do I want to keep this going for? Maybe probably about another 10 minutes. If there's anything important that probably wants to be added. I mean, I have to get stuff done. Yeah. Ooh. That reminds me. Yeah. Okay, the biggest problem with whenever like when I'm teaching and I have to talk about I have to talk a lot, or it's like I'm doing the stuff on like any of the teams meeting, and then there's like nobody responding or anything, and then I'm like talking, and it's like super loud. I did say 40 minutes. I said 40 minutes to an hour, I think. But yeah, and like anytime I have to talk and I'm talking for a really long time, and then I just like. At the end of the day, I'm like, oh my goodness, I feel like my voice is gonna I'll lose my voice. It was actually funny. I remember when I subbed at this one school, I had to cover a medical leave, and the kids were good there. I like the kids. They just were loud. They were loud kids. But yeah, they were pretty loud, and I remember like always having to be like telling them to be quiet, and at the end of the day, like I I was just like, I'm done. After that, I legit lost my voice. So on the last day of classes that I had with them, which was like right before Christmas, and the kids get rowdy right before Christmas. That spring break, and then the Victoria Day long weekend. And after that, it's kind of like you kind of sail through. But you're okay. So you say you're a director of your firm. Wait. Like what kind of firm do you say? What kind of firm? It's like a law firm. Is it fun stuff? To pull up a file on my screen so I don't have to look at people looking at me when I talk. Oh, I don't care. The only thing I don't like is on Teams. It's like when you're like, oh, but promoter of the year, what? More iconic Japanese watch brand, Seiko or Casio? National fundraising consulting firm. I've never heard of that. More iconic Japanese watch brand, Seiko or Casio? I don't know. I would say like, ooh, because in my opinion, you're not, like, okay, I'm gonna say this: you're not a true collector if you don't have a Casio. In my opinion, like everybody has to have a Casio. It's like it doesn't matter if it's a cheap data bank. Like they make the ultimate affordable like digital watches. They are an icon in and of themselves. It's just that to me, a Seiko is a more like I would say a better like a more not prestigious brand because they make entry level pieces. Unless we're talking about Grand Seiko or Creedor, although Creedor is kind of its own spin off thing. Personally, I really like and well, I mean like I like Casio for what they do, and they're I don't know this piece of fluff flying around. Sorry. Wait. Oh, type of firm. Consulting, fundraising, consulting firm. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, but I don't know what I would pick, to be honest. Maybe Seiko, because it's like if we're talking like iconic for what they've done, the history, the horological history of them. They've made like amazing pieces in the past. I think there's no question about that, right? So in general, I think Seiko is an amazing brand. I mean, I do have issues with their watches in general. I mean, like I'm personally a Swiss guy. If I can buy Swiss, I'll buy Swiss. I think Seiko does a good job. Like for instance, one of the watches that I sold off a couple months ago, it was a Sarb 035. Everybody loves those Sarbs. They pay a ridiculous amount of money for what they are, in my opinion. But it's like you get a lot of weird QC issues with Seiko that you don't really see coming out of the bigger Swiss brands, right? Like, I mean, there's misaligned bezels can happen on everything. Like, heck, one of my Tag Heuers that I have has a like, and I literally looked, and their actual web store image has the bezel, like the pip itself, misaligned. Because I guess what happens is they do the alignment of the bezels separately from the actual watches. So when they're building them, who knows? Maybe the spec on the machine went out or something. But I mean, I don't know. I mean, but Seiko generally, it seems to me, it's like they have issues within, like I don't know. There's just issues that they've had, especially with their entry level pieces. Scuba diving and skydiving. I don't know. I'm not a big skydiving fan. I think I'm afraid of heights, so I'd probably just say skydiving in general. Coffee, tea. I'd keep tea for sure. I'm more of a tea drinker than a coffee drinker. No, but I think Seiko is a really important brand. I think that they caused a lot of upset with the quartz crisis and everything. I don't think that they're a bad company in general. I just think that they have some interesting things that. Their supply and distribution chain for their parts is kind of a pain in the rear end to deal with. But overall, I think they're great. Great watches in general. They make great pieces. So I think you can't go wrong with either one. If you want mechanical timepiece, an entry level mechanical timepiece, I would point you in the direction of Seiko. I think they make good pieces. But like for me, I would honestly say, like going for a, what would I say? Like entry level, I personally would prefer Orient over Seiko. I just think that they're better value. That's my opinion. That they're all in house. I mean, Orient's owned by Seiko, right? I mean, it's on their cases, it's stamped Epson Corporation, which is funny. Okay, wait. I'll answer. Okay, you said thanks for. Okay, should one just save the money and time and just get an Omega Seamaster 3? Like, you're talking about the S&P 300 instead of overpaying and waiting a lifetime for the Rolex sub. Ooh. Okay, that's a big question. Can I hold on and I'll answer this bottom one, then I'll get back to yours because that's actually a long question. Okay, Eddie Bauer, L Bean. I don't. I mean, Eddie Bauer is kind of a company that's up here in Canada, so I'd go LL Bean is probably get rid of. Probably about 25. Okay, we don't have many watch repair shops here. It's hard to find people who know and respect craftsmanship. Yeah, for sure. Like my watches. When I send them off for servicing, there's a couple of local watchmakers in the city, but the one I work with, he does snail pace work. He takes his sweet time. The work's decent though. Like the work's good. But anyways, okay, back to your question. And that's about should you basically play the wait list and get the sub, or like get an SMP? Oh, okay. My question is, are you actually going to keep the Submariner? Is that the watch you actually want, or do you just want it for the potential resale? Because in my opinion, this is my opinion. Like, okay, so for instance, the Rolex sub at retail, if you get it at retail, it's not actually like, a bad deal. Like the watch itself is good. I just personally think that I like Omega more as a company. That's just me. I think they have better value pieces. I mean, yes, the Daytona is a great chronograph. I don't deny, Rolex for making a good chronograph. I don't deny that Rolex creates a good dive watch. In fact, they had like the Submariner is basically what started it out for the diving watches in general, and that kind of market. But I think that the SMP is just, in my opinion, you're kind of on par with Rolex. Just you're paying about half the price when you consider gray market prices. I personally like the dial finishing more on the Omega. It just has more to it. There's more, especially the wave dials. I really like the wave dials. And I mean, there's a lot of different color combinations. I find Rolex to be very boring as a company. And I don't find, I feel like their marketing strategy is we're a Rolex. It's like Rolex is Rolex. I don't think that, if you got that at retail, why not buy it? Like, there's no reason not to buy it. But I think, you're always going to probably want to think about flipping it because you can make profit on it. The SMP, you're probably going to enjoy that piece more because you're not always worried about thinking about buying it, or flipping it, to some, other party and making profit on it. If you're buying it at retail, if you're buying it gray market, I can't see the purpose of paying double what an SMP is worth, especially when we're talking about the used market. And I mean, mind you could probably get maybe 10, 15, 20% off at an AD, depending on how you swing it from Omega. I mean, maybe the days of that are kind of gone, especially in certain colorways. I think the white one, the white dial SMP right now is a little bit of a hot item, which I think is really, really beautiful. But I think Omega makes better dials than Rolex, and that's just my personal opinion. I think it's more of an interesting piece to look at. The one thing you have a fully functional helium escape valve on the side of the SMP. You don't have that with the. You'd have to buy the Sea Dweller to get that in the Rolex. I just think the SMP is more, it is what it is. If you compare the bracelets, the glide lock system is apparently better on the Rolex, like on the sub. I haven't, I've handled an SMP, at an AD. I haven't, I guess I wouldn't really call it I've handled what was it? A GMT Master 2 it wasn't on Jubilee. What was he had it on Oyster. So, but these pieces, they're really nice. The glide lock's a nice system. But yeah, so it's Rolex makes good quality pieces, no doubt about it. But I think that if you plan on keeping the watch, I would probably go with an SMP. That's just my opinion. You're gonna be cheaper out of the gate. You're not gonna worry about it, in that aspect. Or another option. Another option, if you're considering it between, I know it's not between the two, but there was a video that was done comparing, it's on YouTube. You can look it up, comparing the Aquis 400, the 400 cal, the new in-house movement they put in there with a 5-day power reserve, comparative to the new Submariner. And I think honestly, that would be a really, really good point to go with. I think that would be awesome. And I mean, it's a lot cheaper than either of those options. The one thing I'm going to say is Oris, the dials on Oris are nothing special. Like if I, like on my Oris, which I think is a 2016 model, this dial itself is nothing really, really special in my opinion. Like there's nothing really, really going on about it. I honestly think my Tag Heuer, like my Tag Heuer Aqua Racer has a way nicer dial, but the quality kind of control, everything, the fit and finish on the Oris definitely plays at a much more premium kind of price point than what their, their MSRP values suggest. So it's like you're getting a lot of bang for buck, right? And that's my opinion with Oris. So if you want, like, I think that if you want to pay a lot less, right? I think they're about $4,400 Canadian. I would go with the Oris Aquas, the 400 cal. They're the new in-house movement with the 5-day power reserve. If you wanted to stay away from those two options, but you're saying the wait list or paying gray market or getting a Seamaster. I personally would go with the Seamaster, unless you're dead set on the Rolex. If you're dead set on the Rolex, just get the Rolex. You're not going to be happy buying something that you didn't want, right? That's my opinion, and it's kind of been that way with a lot of things. Hopefully that answers your question. Maybe not. If you want, maybe I was talking too long. But it is. I've seen that question asked so many times though, right? And I don't like it's weird because a lot of people, will tell you, they'll just be like, oh well, get Rolex because it's better resale value. I don't do that. Like I don't want to be the person who recommends something just because of resale value. I think it's stupid. Buy what you want. Don't buy just because you think that it's gonna be money at the end of it. I mean, I've bought watches that have like, more value. Or like I would say, like I buy it for what I want. I mean, like obviously I buy and sell watches as a side business, right? So it's like, I mean, like there's that, right? Okay, so you agree Omega puts a lot of more effort into the piece and the great value. Do you recommend purchasing mid-range watches on the gray market like Joma Shop, or would you go to an AD? Oh, okay. So, the bottom one, can I tell a fake Rolex from a real one? And then, Tony, I'll answer your question. Can I tell a fake one from a real one? Yes. Yes, but the fake ones are getting pretty good. A lot of the times, like, so I'm gonna be real with you. What I've dealt with, like buying and selling, mostly I'm at about the $3,000 Canadian point and under, because I don't like. My thing is I haven't kind of jumped up market because I don't like stepping on any of the big players' toes here, either in the city of Edmonton where I'm from, or kind of in Canada. There's a couple of big gray market and reseller guys who kind of have they kind of have their area kind of mapped out, and I'm not like, I don't really want to be like, I mean, I don't want to like necessarily compete too much with them or compete on stock that I know that they're going to try and take, right? So I really specialize in stuff that's about $3,000 and below. Like right now, I have a Longines 1832 listed. It's an amazing piece that I don't really like right there. And then I have an Alpino. No, it's not Alpino. What it was? Oh, it's a Stoa Flieger. I have an Icarus that's on hold for a guy in Ontario. So if you want to buy a Zodiac Astrograph, that's a cool watch he has listed. Go on Kijiji and probably look at that if you want. It's a really cool watch. But once he sells that, then he gets the Stoa. How can I tell them fake from real? It's getting harder, right? The fakes are getting more sophisticated. One of the reasons why I don't really like dealing with Rolex is because they are a little bit harder to tell, and there's so many people selling fakes. A lot of the fakes that I get offered to buy, because I buy as well, right? That's how I get stock. Not so far from the Mall of America, right? In Alberta, we're in Edmonton. I think Mall of America's in Minnesota, right? No, not Minnesota. Is it in? It's in Twin Cities, right? St. Paul and what's the other place? Shoot, Minneapolis. There we go. I think I think it's in Minneapolis, right? Maybe, I don't know. Okay. Anyways, you can tell if you take off the case back and you look at the movement. The movements are completely different. They'll try and clone it, but usually they don't have the same bridge as the Rolex. The Rolex bridge, they don't do that. The clones don't do that. So that's one way to tell the difference. Just some of the placement of the logo might not be. There's font, there's coloring. They usually don't do the colors the exact same. says that, but it's like you can usually tell a lot of the fakes that are coming in here. They're not really that great of quality, but it is what it is. I mean, replica fake, same kind of garbage. Sorry, Tony, we got distracted. Do you recommend purchasing mid-range watches on the gray market like Joma Shop, or would you go to an AD? Okay, so it depends. Gray market. Are you talking about brand new, or are you talking about pre-owned? Because I deal with pre-owned, right? That's what I mostly deal with. And so if you're looking for something like mid-range that's pre-owned, yeah, I mean, I could probably kind of throw something to help you out there, but I guess it is plug, right? But if you're looking for like brand new, but like from a gray market, Joma Shop, I've heard a little bit of it, like, okay, the stuff that Joma Shop gets is legit, right? They're not selling fake watches. That's the thing, right? So they're not selling fakes. They have their stuff's legit. The problem with that I've heard with Joma Shop, and this is coming from Canada, right? I don't know where you are, if you're in Canada or if you're in the United States. The biggest thing is all the prices, first of all, in US dollars. You're hit with exchange duties and import fees and plus taxes when you import it to Canada, right? There's not a whole lot of just like specific gray market dealers, especially online vendors, specific to Canada, right? So most of the stuff is coming out of the United States. Obviously, the United States has a larger watch market than Canada. So that's where most of your gray market stuff is going to come from. And I think there's a few places in Europe you can get it, but most of the stuff is coming out of the United States. And then, so like one of the pieces that I have right now was a gray market purchase, but like, I mean, it was originally from the original owner. Now, here's the thing. Gray markets can be like, I mean, you don't know how old the piece is. Like it could be like 3 or 4 years old and then just sold to like, they offload it and then obviously, heavily discount. So an AD offloaded because it didn't sell, and to a gray market dealer, whatever, the was like, closeout, stock closeout, and they got the watch. So you don't know actually how old the watch is. You can approximate it. Maybe it was like, unless they disclose that. But I mean, generally speaking, you're not like, I haven't had to use like, I mean, a lot of people care about the warranty, right? Some people will be like, oh, well, the watch won't be worth as much because it doesn't have the original, like box and papers, right? I mean, like I guess in some aspects, if it makes a big deal to you to get that kind of, brand new feeling of it, and you don't care about, paying the difference, then, okay, so brand new. Okay. Brand new. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So you're looking at brand new. Okay. Sorry. I just saw that the chat bar liked. No, I would definitely say that if you're going brand new, you can go with gray market's not a bad way to go. It's just, it depends. Like if you're in Canada, most of your ADs will be able to play ball with you. We recently purchased a Rado for our, my parents, or my mom actually. It was a Golden Horse 1957 limited edition. And the AD definitely was willing to play ball and, kind of discount a price. Usually, like, I mean, if I can get a piece from an authorized dealer that will play ball in discount, I would much rather get it through an authorized dealer. If I want to try and get it through another place and I want to, get it cheaper at a different kind of rate or whatever, or they have a really desirable model that I can't get somewhere else, why not go gray market? The only thing is, like, let's say there's an issue with, I know that Joma Shop provides their own kind of warranty, right? A lot of the things is a lot of people buy. Here's the big thing. What I've noticed is people buy, like you're saying mid-range, but this is what my experience is like, and I'm assuming mid-range, you're talking about anything probably about anywhere $2,000 to $3,000 up to probably about 5 or 6, right? We're probably talking about like something like Oris, Tag Heuer, Longines, Rado, stuff like that. I'm assuming those are the brands you're probably kind of mid-range stuff, or like entry level to mid-range, right? Like luxury, right? That's what I'm assuming. Or are you talking like, like mid-range is in like, entry level, mid-range, entry level luxury, and then like, mid-range luxury and then high end. I mean, but I wouldn't have a problem with going with Joma Shop. Yeah. Okay. The range is right. Okay. Yeah. So, yeah, Tag Heuer, definitely gray market or steep discount in an AD. They don't hold the value very much. So if you can get them at a discount, get them at a discount. Rado, it depends on where you are in the world. you live in India, good luck probably, because they're super popular over there. If you're over in North America, which I probably assume you are, Rado is it's very, I would say it's a pretty easy brand to get a little bit of a discount off of. And gray market it's whatever. I mean, the biggest thing is like you have to go to an AD that the stock exists, right? Because you're not going to get it. And this was one of the biggest things that we had an issue with trying to find the watch for my mom, was none of the ADs were really carrying this watch, so we couldn't try it on. People, and the dumbest thing that a lot of ADs do whenever they say something is, we can order it in. Well, I'm not going to want you to order something in to try it on. That doesn't make sense, right? It doesn't make sense from the consumer standpoint, because then it's almost like you're obligated to buy it, and you cannot ask for a discount because the stock is not there, right? So in that aspect, there's a little bit of issues there, and you can't get a good deal on that, if that makes sense. If you have to order something in, you have to have the stock in play for you to want to get a discount. They're not going to want to buy, like, I mean, they might play ball on that. Maybe if you have a good a good relationship. Why is Rado so popular in India? I actually don't know. I don't know why Rado is actually really popular in India. Rado is actually, it's very popular in India, Vietnam, and like Thailand, any of your Southeast Asian countries, and like, so India and Pakistan as well, but any of the Southeast Asian country, Thailand, Vietnam, like, I guess, like, I mean, not necessarily the Philippines too much, but for some reason it's really popular over there. I don't really know why it is, but it is. It just didn't really take off necessarily here in Canada and the United States as much. So it's not like it's there. It's just not like front and center. So do you know the history of personal timepieces? I don't. Maybe give more of an explanation of what you mean by that question. But yeah, what your original question was about buying it in a gray market for those mid-range pieces. I don't necessarily have a problem with that. It just depends on what you're looking for. Resale value, it might hurt a bit, but if it's outside of that warranty period, to be honest, as long as it can be authenticated and your people aren't really don't really care that much, then it's kind of all over the place, right? It doesn't really matter too much. Right? But yeah, that's my opinion. Yeah. Do you know the history of personal time uses? What did you mean by that, actually? Like, I don't know of like a place called like personal time. Like, what do you mean by that? Personal timepieces and what? Like all the ones that I own. Do I know the history of those pieces? Maybe, maybe not. Like of all the watches that I own, I know kind of where they've come from most of the times. Oh, you're talking about history in general. Okay, okay. I thought you were talking about like history of each timepiece I own. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, yeah, I do know the history of a lot of the companies. Why wristwatches were kind of popularized, in World War I, because all the soldiers had to use something to tell time, and pocket watches are kind of clunky. Before that, wristwatches were only really marketed to women, right? But yeah, Brigade watch number K. As we know, yeah. What card is that? I who had that? No, Marie Antoinette. Did you see? I think it's Breguet who made this. I'm pretty sure the watch that Marie Antoinette had, and that pocket watch thing. It's an insane thing. And I think that, yeah, because obviously I've been late 1700s, I believe, yeah. But no, I think the Breguet watch number 2639. Yeah, I didn't know that. Pocket watches were invented well before the first ones were created in 1574. Yeah, okay, yeah. Clearly, you know. I would say you're probably your history more in regards to watches than I probably do. I don't. I've been more along the lines of studying modern stuff. I mean, as someone who's buying and selling, I have to like I have to, know history on certain brands, and I mean, I have to know the product, right? So in order for me to sell it, I better know something about it. Now, I mean, do I know every single thing about Longine's history all the way back to like, the founding in 1832 and all this other stuff? No, but do I know the modern product decently well enough? I know it well enough to sell it. So that's my opinion on stuff. I don't want to be one of those people who's just like buy something because it's pretty. Because that's a stupid way to sell something. I don't like that. I'd rather tell you, the functional technology, the technological features about it, and I'd rather do that. Okay, you pulled that from the web. Hey, come on, that's cheating. I'm not pulling stuff from the web. Hey, no, I'm just messing. But no, I think it's kind of it's interesting with that way. Oh, curious. Okay, curious. Okay, cool. Yep. No, anyways. Oh, I should probably leave it off there though. That's what I should probably do. Should probably get going. Any last questions before I'm gonna shut it down? For puck shows, the Williams played the hour. The min hands were added in 1860, and the second hands came about a decade after that. That's interesting information. Last questions before I'm gonna kind of cut it off because I need to go get ready for do a bunch of stuff. Last questions. Anything at all? Okay. Well, thank you. I'll try and get a better setup here because I actually kind of wanted to be out there, but it's too sunny with the light and it's kind of like all weird. Then it kind of looks a little bit ugly. It's not a really great setup. Obviously, I guess I'm pretty sure you probably are already subscribed to my channel. If you aren't, do so. It's pretty cool. Oh, you just found me on a random search. That's pretty awesome. How did that even appear? Oh, it's all about watches and cars. Just if you want to look, there's I have stuff. Oh, when do I normally publish and stream? This is actually the very first time I've been streaming, or I streamed. So I basically just decided because a lot of the times I do Q&A, and usually it'd be every couple of months, and then one of my friends suggested I do a live stream instead. Usually I'm publishing about once a week. When it becomes when it becomes like a little bit of a challenge to yeah. Oh, live Q&A. Okay, that's pretty good. That's awesome that I popped up. But yeah, no, usually I publish like once a week for my content. And then the live stream was just kind of an idea that one of my friends gave me. He said, he's like, rather than doing these Q&As, he's like, because what I was doing was I was noticing something. Q&As weren't getting me engagement, right? And I wanted to drive engagement. I wanted to figure out how to grow the channel. I mean, my channel's it's a pretty small channel. So awesome. Thank you very much. But yeah, like I was noticing that these Q&A videos, I'd get like an initial spike and maybe, a few views, and then it would just drop off and I'd never see it again. So I'm like, okay, why am I putting in all this effort? Plus I couldn't get questions from YouTube because people weren't asking questions, right? So then my friend was like, hey, do a live stream instead of these Q&A videos. And I was like, okay, all right, maybe I'll try that. So that's what I decided to do. But yeah, no, my regular content's about my cars and then watches is mostly what it is. I mean, I can talk about literally anything to some degree. But yeah, watches and cars is where it's at. So it's like but the picture that I have is of my 3rd generation Honda Prelude. But that's I mean, I've done too much work on that. But yeah. Oh well, thank you very much. I'm thinking maybe because I think that live streaming is a good way to drive engagement. So I'll probably do stuff more frequently, maybe. But I usually try and upload something at least once a week. That's kind of my go-to. The thing is when it depends. If school is really well, thank you. If it gets super busy, then it does take a little bit longer for me to because editing is just, it takes a while, right? And it's time consuming. So. And then also if I'm doing everything like for my other job, like for my teaching, then my side job, and then like trying to run a YouTube channel, even though it's like tiny, super small, then it's like, it just gets really time consuming. But other than that, but no, obviously if you do have any, questions or anything, yeah, no, let me know. And I can ask that, I can answer them. But anyways, thank you very much. But I guess I'll leave it off there. So I'll definitely let you, obviously you're notified. So whenever I do upload anything else, it'll be there. But anyways, take care. I'll see you guys later. And thank you very much for tuning in for the first time. Thank you.